Hey everybody, it's Mama Soul Doc. I'm not a medical doctor or a mental health care practitioner. So I just want to talk a little bit about why is it that my method is so speedy? A lot of people come to me because they don't have any time to waste. They want to get to the end of their problem, and I tend to be able to do that in 1 or 2 sessions. So how is that possible? Why am I so fast? So the reason that other therapies like talk therapy, for example, are so slow is what I just put up on the screen here. Talk therapies are slow because they are addressing symptoms. Like you come into a therapist's office and you say, okay, I'm so tired of my depression. And so the therapist wants to know, what kind of depression? What are you doing in your depression? How did your depression start? Tell me more about it. Have you tried this? Have you tried that? And we're constantly talking about that surface level problem, which is the depression. But then the question is, of course, well, what's underneath the depression? What created it? And that's something that you often don't get to, immediately or sometimes ever, or sometimes it takes quite a while in talk therapy. So the beautiful thing about the hypnosis is that it circumvents that symptom level, it circumvents that um, layer on top and goes right for the why question, not by asking you why, because you don't know why, because that's why you're in front of me, but by exploring it. So a lot of therapy is slow because it's circulating around symptoms and topical things. Sometimes I call it circling the drain, which is what it feels like. People have told me many times before. After therapy, I sit in my car and cry and wonder if I'm ever going to get better, anything's going to change. And I'm not saying therapy is bad. I've done tons of therapy and I believe in it. The thing I'm pointing out right now is it's time consuming because it is symptom driven. So a second problem is unconscious resistance. So of course, if we're asking someone directly to talk about their symptoms and their problems, they're going to resist because it's uncomfortable. And that's an obvious thing. Like, of course, if you're suffering, you're not going to want to just go into the suffering and explain the whole thing and blurt it all out. So the unconscious mind pulls away from that and it's trying to protect itself. So it's doing a good thing. It's smart, but it's also creating a longer experience because that resistance is stopping the momentum and the forward progress of the conversation and of the session. Other reasons why traditional methods take a long time are we're reading people's scripts, so we have to prepare the scripts. We're being rigid, so we're not flowing with what's going on. So we're adding time where we could have taken time out because we think we need to do a certain way, which, probably we don't. We also test the clients quite a bit. We do suggestibility tests. We create rapport with them. We build this question and answer about whether they understand what's going on and does everything seem to be working? And if not, troubleshooting that. So we're not actually even doing any problem solving at that time. We're kind of getting ready to problem solve. Again, very time consuming. Assigning homework, correcting homework, asking people where their homework is that they didn't do. All of that is very time consuming. Um, on the balance, what I'm kind of pointing out is this line right here, which is too many sessions because of too many conclusions. We're the ones who brought the conclusions. We brought conclusions about the symptoms. We brought conclusions about the scripts. We brought conclusions about the process and what needs to happen, instead of letting the client subconscious dictate that all to us. So what's creating so much of an extended time is we are forcing our method, we are controlling the outcome, and we are ourselves not flowing with what is actually possible. Instead, we're forcing it or imposing it. And that is creating a lot of extraneous moments inside of the work with each client. Finally, this last one is very important, which is if we don't test the clients, and I have a whole class on testing, which there are parts of that on YouTube you can watch, and you can also just purchase the class or take the class with me. But testing is so important because if we don't do testing, then we have never checked to see if the client is robust in their solution. So sometimes people come out of trance and you're like, oh, yeah, you feel so much better. Great. See you later. Have a great time. You let them go, and there has been nothing done to secure or check on the resources and the progress. So testing is another big mistake people make, or not testing is a big mistake people make in terms of shortening the time spent with each client. And by the way, I'm not at all trying to say that we are trying to short shrift the clients. It's not that we're rushing them or that we don't have the time to spend with them. It's that nobody has ever said, oh, I would like to take as long as possible to heal this problem. Everybody wants it gone as fast as possible. That's why they're appealing to hypnosis. That's the whole point of getting it done at the root. So I'm not saying that some people won't have longer sessions or multiple sessions. I'm not saying that we have to rush. I'm not saying we're supposed to not listen. Absolutely not. Of course, the slower we go, the more hypnotic it is. So I'm going to teach you slowness as part of the fastness. But the point of the video right now is, by using all the expected and predictable techniques and tools, we are really stretching the experience away from the client's internal life. And that is not only not helping them, but it's also adding time that we could be using either to get through the problem and get to the end, or if they've already done that, to let them go on and live their lives, which is what they want. So we don't need to stretch the time, and we don't need to see the clients over and over if we do the job right and correctly at the outset. Then it can be really quick and permanent. If you have any questions about this or anything else, please ask. This is Mama Soldak in Montreal, Quebec. Thank you for watching.